Where does that come from? Where does kindness come from? Is it something that you learn by watching your mother and father? Is that something that's wired into your system? Is that something that is a cultural thing? So people from India are kinder than people from Serbia. It's got anything to do with the weather conditions. Are people in cold countries colder than people in warm countries? And the opposite, cruelty. So are we born cruel? Does a tendency to be cruel come from the time you're in the womb? Is it learned from your parents? Is it learned from TV? Is it learned from your environment? Or does it come from a sense of self-preservation? That I will survive. Because the instinct to survive is very strong, and Darwin has studied it in depth. When even a stag, when it reaches a point where it cannot run anymore, it will turn and fight. And it will use everything in its power to fight. Yet it's one of the gentlest creatures in the wild. It eats just grass and leaves and berries. It's such a gentle creature. Yet given the circumstance, it turns. And then we've heard of so many stories. There was a program that used to be done on Indian TV. And one time they brought out the cruelty or the unkindness to older people, to parents, where the children actually fool the old people into taking their property. Say, you can live with us. And once they're there, the cruelty it's mental. It's not like they're being beaten. But the words that they are made to hear are so harsh. It's like twisting a knife again and again and again in their chest. The same mother that sat up nights wiping the child down when he had 103 fever, or sitting and feeding him, or making his favorite pudding and dessert when he came home for the holidays, has to listen to, my God, I can't you're eating us out of house and home. Just eat what you're given. I don't want to hear any noise from you, sit in your room. When are you going to die? When are you going to die? They ask their parents. And I'm not saying that all parents have been wonderful parents. Perhaps the child saw the parent being unkind to their parents. But I tell you one thing. If you've done it, the cycle will come around. You cannot be unkind to your parents and expect your children to be overly kind to you in your old age. Because they would have watched and they would have seen what you have done and what you have said. Nothing is a secret. And then again, when it comes to your children, at this age, steel yourself so that you don't expect anything. So when things are good and things are not so good, it's the same to you. Take the good with the bad. Generations are different. There is so much value placed on youth and ability and success that old age is seen as a weakness. And only a few fortunate people have the ability to take care of their parents to the last day. and show them that kindness. That kindness that you show to an aged person has 4 times more karmic value for your life. Not once, not twice, 4 times. Because a child somehow survives. Yes, in the first year you need to be caring for that child. But an old person, that loneliness, that sense of helplessness, that sense of uselessness, the body that's weakening, all they want is your kindness, your care. You come home from a hard day of work and your mother says, well, the gardener didn't come in today, the tap is leaking. She gives you a list of all the things that are not working and you blow up. That is the time to respond and not react. That is the time to show you care. After all, for most of us, our parents were good. Some parents are not so good. I do admit that all people are not excellent parents. But I have been very fortunate. And I give back every minute. I give back as much as I can. And there are times when old people make you lose your cool because they don't see things the way you do. Life is not the way, their vision is completely different from yours. And you need to say quiet. You need to, sometimes I feel I have the deflector on in entire phone conversations. And I'm listening, but I'm not reacting. My only job, my only duty in this life is to say nice things and share love with the world. The kindness I feel, whether it's for unfortunate people, whether it's for friends, whether it's for, I even feel it for people who've wronged me. I don't know whether I got it because of my body, the genes, or whether this was the greatest gift that God ever gave me. The ability to be kind to others. But when I say those harsh words, and I have said them, something inside doesn't feel right. So how come there are those that are so harsh? Not just with old parents, but with everybody, with people who work for them. And I say it comes from survival, self-protection. I attack before I have to defend. I establish myself before I have to defend. There are people that must have the last word, that believe it's their place to put everybody else in their place. How they decide what their place is, I don't know. But I would hate to be in such a mind, filled with evil things and nasty things to say to people. What is the purpose of that? How does it make you feel? Human beings have got a nerve at the back called the vagus nerve. Not sure if that's a correct pronunciation. VAGUS. Vagus.
Vegas.
And that gets activated when the heart rate slows down. Now I'm talking to you about this because it is so important to learn the pranayama because of all these effects that it has on the body. Apparently, that is the nerve that gives rise to feeling of expansion, warmth and kindness in a scientific way. But we all know there are those that are kind, those that just aren't. And those that aren't unkind all the time. They're unkind only some of the time. And when they're unkind, we must smile and hope that it passes. And hope that it's just a situation, just a bad day. And that at some point, they will tap into themselves, and inside of themselves, there is only warmth and kindness. If there is no kindness, there's nothing. There's nothing. So the next time you are with your old mother, or the next time your child is unmindful of your feelings, think whether you want to use a deflector. Deflector is good with your parents, but never fail to tell your child that he's doing something or she's doing something that is unacceptable. It breaks every law of humanity. Kindness is what differentiates human beings from just animals. The scorpion is going to bite you, it's got its stinger raised, you say, please, please don't sting me. It's not going to say, okay, I won't sting you next time. A tiger is poised, ready to spring at you, and you beg them, please, just this time let me go. They're not going to. They don't have it in them to do it. What differentiates a human being from an animal is the ability to be kind. And as you give, you receive. And if you don't receive, we are already equipping ourselves with the necessary tools, so that at all costs we maintain that peace and that happiness, because we know that happiness is our birthright, and we will not allow any person, any event, any situation to rob us of that birthright. You remember that one line, just that one line, and really there are no knots in your string. Your string of life will be one continuous, slightly undulating continue. Little hiccups on the way, but no knots. Because nothing can bother you. Nothing. No one. You are peace, you are joy, you are happiness, and you are kindness.